Hello everybody, welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and I thought I would jump on and channel the current Divine Masculine energies. I've had several Divine Feminines reach out over the last 48 hours. I know many are being met with some temptation. It is this spiraling energy taking place in the collective right now for many. So I figured I would jump in and see what's going on with the Divine Masculine. I kind of feel a lot of the Divine Feminines are mirror reflecting their counterparts' energy right now. So I do encourage you, Divine Feminine, to stay grounded, resist the temptation to push the masculine to communicate, resist the temptation to kind of create more static. But let's jump in and see what needs to come through today for basically like a midweek check-in. I kind of feel the masculines are running on empty. I think they really do need to replenish their reserves, and I kind of feel, you know, they're going through a major fall right now when it comes to their ego, when it comes to, you know, not embracing authenticity. I feel many of them are really hitting that rock bottom energy this week. And yeah, that fall from the ego, really needing to kind of replenish. I think a lot of the masculines, the well has run dry when it comes to their finances, their energy, and I kind of feel, you know, as they're preparing to take that bold step forward, there's a lot of internal struggle taking place when it comes to these changes. And I do feel a lot of the feminines are mirror reflecting that. I know for myself personally, there's been like another loop around when it comes to everything that's transpired along the journey since separation. And I feel, you know, a lot of the feminines did receive some communication, and then the masculines instantly retracted and then went right back into the blocking and the ghosting, because I think, you know, we reflect back to them all of these aspects of self that they've been denying. So let's see what else needs to come through. I think the masculine is preparing to surrender the lower ego. I do feel this huge fall energy coming through when it comes to the ego, when it comes to the mind. And I kind of feel, yeah, there's that choices and their consequences. So a lot of cause and effect, a lot of karmic repercussions are coming back around to be dealt with when it comes to this crossroads energy, when it comes to, you know, making that bold step to come forward, definitely facing a lot of consequences for their past decisions. But let's jump in with the book and talk about this fallen angel energy, because that's kind of what I've been feeling lately. So I kind of feel the masculine's kind of searching for his authentic self right now. There's definitely a shift in consciousness when it comes to all of the masks that the divine masculine has been wearing to cover up the pain on his heart. And I kind of feel, yeah, this spiritual energy when it comes to the unconscious choices that the divine masculine has made. I feel a lot of the masculines are in this very uncomfortable energy when it comes to losing track of all of their goals, all of their aspirations, and their need to kind of stop. I feel this descent energy, this spiraling descent, because a lot of these masculines have been seduced by supposed friends or that romantic companion who really have used the masculine for their own personal pleasure and for their own interest in mind. And I feel, you know, the masculine's in this fight or flight energy, and in order for them to kind of rise above the fray and to tap into that higher perspective, I think they're going to have to untangle themselves from this karmic entanglement. I think a lot of their choices are coming back around. They're really backfiring on the masculine right now in order for him to embrace these guided changes. And I think the time is right for, you know, the masculine to embrace this beginner's mindset and for this new beginning. So I feel a lot of intense energies have been coming through since that new moon in Aquarius. And I kind of feel this deep dive into the underworld. I remember when I was first in separation and I was shown a vision of my masculine trying to drown me in the ocean, which was like a resemblance of the deep emotions that I felt when I experienced that rejection. So I think a lot of fear coming up when it comes to that rejection. And I feel the masculine is deep, deep within his internal world right now, diving deep into these emotions in order to find that inspiration to take that first breath in this new direction, to, you know, have that beginner's mindset, to really surrender to the alchemy of this connection. But let's see what else needs to come through with, oh my God, what is this deck? The archetype deck. Okay. Orphan. So that's kind of what I feel. A lot of the masculines are feeling very abandoned in the energy, abandoned by the divine feminine, abandoned by the social circle. You know, they've really sought out all of these inappropriate connections, and it stifled their spiritual maturation is kind of what I'm feeling. So I think the masculine is learning to conquer these survival fears, to conquer these abandonment wounds. And I feel, you know, this self-sabotaging energy is coming through. Yeah, saboteur, self-sabotaging. So, you know, all of these self-destructive behaviors where the masculine tried to undermine others really have come back to, you know, haunt him when it comes to these consequences, when it comes to these past choices. So I feel all of these changes are coming up in order for the masculine to embrace liberation and self-empowerment in the energies. So, you know, I feel this tyranny energy that really is coming forward because the masculine ignored this love on his heart. And I feel a lot of financial and legitimate constraints are coming up when it comes to the masculine's tyranny in order to free himself from these outdated beliefs, these outdated patterns that just aren't working for him anymore. So let's see what else needs to come through for the divine masculine when it comes to the energies today. There's that destroyer, just an explosion of destruction in and around the masculine when it comes to his distorted power, when it comes to that power struggle, that internal shift. And I feel there's this huge release when it comes to this destruction as the masculine kind of is preparing for this beginner's mindset, for this new beginning with the divine feminine. So, and I called that in one of the readings, like this explosive energy is coming through. So I think a lot of anger is being released when it comes to the trickery, when it comes to the masculine denying this connection. And I feel with the bully energy, you know, a lot of these masculines have emotionally and mentally abused the divine feminine and the karmic energy when it comes to their fears. And I feel the energy really is highlighting where the masculine has intimidated others through that mental manipulation and this confronting energy. He's going to have to confront these deep-seated fears. I feel the winds of change are on the horizon as all of this destruction comes forward to release everything that's no longer serving the masculine in order to kind of tap into his own creative aspects with the artist card coming through today. So, you know, the masculine really has, you know, excused his behavior. He's really mistreated a lot of people along this journey. And, you know, I feel something is coming to the forefront when it comes to exposure in order for the masculine to tap into all of these other dimensions of life, all of these past life timelines. And I feel in order for the masculine to step into that inspiration, I feel, you know, the masculine has not come forward with all of this knowledge that's been preserved on his heart to share that information with the collective. And I kind of feel his trading of his ethical principles really at that victory for any cost and all of this indifference to the suffering inflicted on others that, you know, has ensued because of this lack of acknowledgement really is coming back around. So this self-sacrificing energy can no longer be ignored. I feel the masculine really is conquering that lower ego in the energies, finding self-discipline, finding his toughness of will and his strength to, you know, embrace self-discipline. And I feel with that thief, so it's quite likely there's some light being shed on the potential of the karmic stealing finances from the masculine. I feel, you know, the karmic energy really did steal the masculine's affection from the feminine. And I feel right now the masculine's in this very low vibration of lack mentality when it comes to this thieving energy in and around him. And he's really kind of been the martyr and been the servant, and he's really used this lack of financial stability as an excuse to not come forward. And I think that is one of the biggest lessons for the masculines is, you know, not to be so dependent on the material aspects of life, to kind of step into that delight of being of service of others. Because when we kind of embrace this free and loving heart from within, that's when we can really transcend all of these obstacles. So I think this addiction to this self-pity party really has run that well dry. I think everybody's sick and tired of this pity party. Oh, poor pitiful me. And I think the masculine really needs to learn to go it alone in order to transcend these obstacles, kind of like the feminine. You know, we were kind of abandoned at that rock bottom, left to kind of fend for ourselves. And I kind of feel like the tables have been turning. And all of these consequences are now coming full circle with the cosmic law of cause and effect in full force. So let's see what else needs to come through with the Priestess of Light Oracle deck today. Divine guidance and loving support. So I feel tapping into that Akashic hidden knowledge. And, you know, this deep, reverent, silent understanding is coming through for the divine masculine with all of this energy coming through. So let's see, instinct, intellect, control. So I do feel the masculine's trying to summon his strength and his power to restore his spiritual intellect. And I just noticed 1111. So I know that's been standing out a lot for me lately, the number sequences. So I'm sure the masculine is finally paying attention to all of the synchronicities in and around him. But there's that victimization energy coming through, this lack mentality, this fear of loss, and then we've got this beautiful clairvoyance. So a lot of psychic sight is being restored when it comes to the masculine stepping into becoming something brand new, releasing all of those false interpretations, trusting in the guided visions that he's been shown when it comes to releasing this fear and releasing this victimization. A lot of these masculines play the victim in order to deflect, you know, having to come forward and take accountability for their actions. So I kind of feel the masculine really is standing alone. He's been so focused on these past losses, these past false assumptions, and he's had this shield around his heart for so long to protect himself from potential hurts, when in reality, he's really just shut himself off and really brought himself into this very dark cave of fear and lack when it comes to his conscious awareness. So I feel a lot of clarity when it comes to this shift, because now is the moment in time where the masculine kind of has to redefine his strength and to kind of redirect his own destiny. I think there's a lot of victimization coming through. I think the karmic is really threatening the masculine with a lot of emotional blackmail in the energy, trying to prevent him from directing his own destiny. So I think, you know, the masculine really is coming into awareness that he really has created his own reality, and he's the one keeping himself stuck in this energy by, you know, playing into that victim mentality time and time again. So I think a lot of truth being exposed when it comes to the masculine's courage and power, and not letting all of these negative experiences define him moving forward. So I think a lot of grieving coming up in order for the masculine to find that solid solution to go in a new direction. I think he knows it's time to take action. He knows it's time to, you know, make those self-honoring decisions and choices, and to come forward with that pure intention rather than playing into these victim energies, you know, and taking charge of his own life. So I think a lot of empowerment is coming through when it comes to all of these old patterns. I think the masculine's been deep in the shadows, in the darkness, in isolation, in order to acknowledge these old patterns of people pleasing and passive acceptance and whatever other negative agendas the masculine kind of had up his sleeve, because it's kind of time for the divine masculine to take his rightful place, you know, as that spiritual leader with the divine feminine, is kind of what I'm feeling. So I do feel many of the masculines are preparing to take that leap of faith. I think a lot of ascension energies, I know a lot of higher chakra activations have been taking place in order for the masculine to really open up to this eternal light from the inside out, to open up to his true, eternal, authentic self. So, you know, the masculine has to be willing to change. He has to be willing to make new choices and to move in a new direction. if he is to kind of break free from these feelings of being stuck. We always have the choice to unstuck ourselves or unstick ourselves. So I do feel a sudden change when it comes to the masculine's residence, whether he is unexpectedly packing up and leaving home or unexpectedly getting his ass kicked out the door. Definitely big changes in the energy when it comes to this new beginning with the twins. So let's jump in with some tarot and see what else needs to come through for the masculine. There's that Chariot, that Four of Cups, and that Judgment. There's that walking away from all of the struggles, all of the dissatisfaction, all of the emotional hurts. I feel by that Leo full moon, there's definitely going to be movement, because I feel this judgment energy, the cosmic forces calling karmic judgment when it comes to this awakening, when it comes to this missed opportunity. You know, the masculine's been playing in that third party drama, you know, not wanting to look at this holy grail chalice cup that the feminine holds in the masculine's heart. And I do feel a lot of movement, definitely likely packing up and moving homes, really needing to gather his strength to come forward with that apology in order to bring healing. I kind of feel this really is the time for these connections to come full circle, as we're in that gateway of Mars and Venus conjuncting. So let's see what else needs to come through for the divine masculine when it comes to these energies today. Hermit, there's that Virgo energy, definitely going within, struggling to find that internal light when it comes to that clean slate and that new beginning. So, you know, there is a golden opportunity here for the twins to start from ground zero. And, you know, we all have to go through that 0 point where we kind of hit that rock bottom in order to build upon something brand new. So, yeah, I think there's definitely something coming back around. We got the Ten of Swords, the Page of Wands, and that Knight of Wands in reverse. So, you know, the masculine ultimately betrayed himself by backstabbing the feminine and not committing, in and out, coming in for passion, leaving quickly. And then we got that Page. So fresh new energy is coming in, and I kind of feel the masculine really is alchemizing the pain of his past choices and the consequences that are coming forward to be addressed. Definitely going within, really learning this lesson in its entirety before coming forward with that tangible offer. So I think that's what's on the masculine's mind, coming forward. He sees a new creative spark with you, divine feminine. He knows this is a golden opportunity to begin anew when it comes to building that solid foundation. And there's that moon energy again. Something about that Leo full moon, there's going to be that first wave of unions coming in, I feel, when it comes to that brand new golden opportunity. But the masculine's going to need to be willing to walk through that gateway. I feel a windfall energy, an inheritance energy coming through for the twins. And, you know, the masculine's deeply struggling internally right now. That internal power struggle when it comes to all of this illumination with the sun, more Leo energy. Because, you know, that whole false foundation is crumbling. Lightning speed. Everything is crashing to the ground, because it's kind of time for the masculine to stand up and be honest and be truthful, to go deep within these emotions in order to restore his creative inspiration, to trust that everything is working out in divine order. So I think, you know, because of the masculine's tendencies to intimidate and not cooperate, he's really being met with those challenges when it comes to the karmic contracts in order to shatter those illusions. Yeah, because this cycle is coming to a complete close. Major karmic lessons being learned. There's clarity, no more confusion with that Seven of Cups reversed, piercing the veil of illusion when it comes to, you know, that happily ever after, that ultimate contentment with the divine feminine, the high priestess, Pisces energy. And I kind of feel the masculine really wants to quickly come in and defend the divine feminine. He sees that she's abundant, grounded, stable, solid. And I think he is preparing to come and have that open-hearted, honest conversation. I do feel the masculine's heart is definitely thinking about the divine feminine, and I do feel he knows he has to come with the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So I kind of feel the masculine's being challenged, challenged in his outer reality when it comes to this decision, when it comes to this unexpected choice in love. Definitely hoping and praying that there's still something to build upon with the divine feminine after all of this blocked communication. Hoping he can pick himself up from that ground zero point and to come forward with that last wand, when it comes to, speaking that truth, when it comes to all of the lies, all of the trickery, all of the thieving. I feel, there's not been balance in that false foundation, with the masculine. And the wheel is basically saying the time is now for this new beginning. So a lot of internal struggle when it comes to this outdated belief mindset, this prison cell of the masculine's own making. So let's see what else needs to come through with the romance angels, chemistry. There is this very strong magnetic attraction taking place, but I feel a lot of the issues holding the masculine back are financial issues. Maybe they're struggling with their career, definitely struggling financially, because they kind of need to release this bitterness and to kind of give this relationship a chance. So we will see what else needs to come through for the divine masculine with this energy shift today. I know with that Mars energy, I feel it's really pushing the masculine to take action, to release that contract where there's no attraction, there's no chemistry. He's been staying stuck in this unrequited love situation where there's a lot of power struggles, when it comes to religious factors and the spiritual path. And, releasing that in order to come forward for this past life reconciliation. He knows it's kind of time to disconnect from all of the deception in and around him. Everybody's been wearing a mask. Everybody's been false. And it's kind of time for the masculine to free himself from this extremely codependent relationship where there's likely addictions. And let's face it, codependency is an addiction. This self-pity party is an addiction. So, I feel the energy really is pushing the masculine to come forward and make the effort. He knows this is great big love, and he knows it is worth taking the guided steps that he's being asked to take, because there's romantic feelings here, and something is about to drastically shift as we prepare for this reunion, reconciliation energy. But let's get a couple more messages from Spirit. See what else needs to come through for the divine masculine. Maturity. I think maybe he's getting ready to grow up once and for all. I think a lot of wisdom has been achieved recently. And, this learning really is a necessary part. This transitionary stage really is necessary, when it comes to this union energy. So whatever's taking place, I think it really is in the hands of the divine at this point in time. So like I said, divine feminine, don't play in to the temptation to reach out. I think that's the masculine, hoping and praying that you're going to reach out with a message. And really, at this point in time, the masculine needs to take the lead. The masculine needs to come forward, because he's really been lost. I feel, the masculine really lost himself in this very codependent, unrequited love situation. And I feel he's craving this breathing room. He definitely is in need of nurturing at this point in time, because he's not been around healthy people. He's not been keeping his space, energetically healthy. And I feel the time is now to kind of heal the past in order to enjoy the present moment. So, in this situation, the masculine really is a student at this point in time. And he's really needing to understand emotional openness and emotional vulnerability truly is his strength. So I think this reevaluation when it comes to how the masculine is looking at himself, he can play the martyr, he can play the self-pity party, but if he's not willing to go deep within the shadows and bring this into his self-awareness, he's not going to be able to gain that new perspective, because I kind of feel, he's really been seduced by these romantic illusions with the karmic, waiting for somebody to save her. And I kind of feel he sees the feminine in this healthy state. And I think he's looking at the feminine as this beautiful, mothering, nurturing energy. He knows the feminine has been very patient. She's still sitting there ready to offer this unconditional love. And I feel the masculine's been smothered and controlled by the karmic energy, who's really instilled a lot of emotional guilt when it comes to the masculine breaking free. So, you know, in order for the masculine to recapture vitality, I do feel he's going to have to come forward and face the divine feminine. So definitely learning a major karmic lesson. This is all stemming around very difficult past life karma that we agreed to work through this lifetime. So I think finally acknowledging these difficulties, healing from them once and for all, in order for the next leg of this evolution as the twins prepare for union. So, you know, I kind of feel, oh, look at back to back, twice. I'm going to say it twice because it come out twice. Divine Masculine, if you're watching, you need to get rigorously honest with yourself about what is going on. Divine Masculine, if you're watching, you need to get rigorously honest with yourself about what is going on. Maybe it's time for you to choose people that will treat you with dignity and respect, because you're being given the chance to do this over with the divine feminine. What are you going to do differently? Maybe it's time to spend some quiet time in meditation and in reflection, and to trust that there is a need to release an outcome. You know, I do feel, you know, the masculine's wondering, is the feminine going to accept me? The answer is yes. Let's face it, as many times over as a lot of the feminines are like, I'm done with this journey, I'm off this journey. You cannot go back. You cannot get off this journey. Once that higher heart activation takes place and you are awakened to this connection, there really is no turning back. So I think we all need to recognize where we need to create healthy spaces within our family structure, where we need to release everything that's been unhealthy in order to kind of refocus and to center ourselves, is kind of what I'm feeling. Let's get a couple love oracle messages, because I kind of feel the masculine's really in the throes of it. Mask. Self-indulgent. And then that sword and the rose. So, you know, the masculine really needs to focus on self-worth. He really needs to do this deep shadow work in order to come forward and exact that appreciation for the divine feminine. He's been wearing a mask. He's been deluding himself, pretending to be happy in a situation that really hasn't yielded any success or any growth. I think the masculine's been gaslighting people, and in turn, that's now being reflected back to him with people gaslighting him. He's not been expressing his true feelings. He's been hiding this love on his heart, and I think there's about to be a lot of clarity and truth being revealed. Excuse me. So, yeah. Divine protection is definitely surrounding the masculine. He's really got to release this overindulgent energy. And I feel a lot of the karmics really do, you know, enforce this codependency. So I feel he's dealing with a lot of competition with the karmic energy, with his frenemies, with his friends disguised, you know, malicious energy. I feel he does feel like he's constantly looking over his shoulder when it comes to the karmic influences, because I do feel the karmic is very clever, very malicious. She's well aware that the masculine has been communicating with the divine feminine. Whether you've been in communication or not, we're always in that telepathic communication. So I kind of feel, get ready for a sudden shocking turn of events, change. Definitely surprise upheaval taking place in the masculine's life, because that golden mirror is right there. You know, he's been self-absorbed. He's really displayed those very narcissistic tendencies. You know, this has been like a one-sided relationship for quite some time, and I feel the masculine is going through a very painful separation from the karmic contract. He's deeply missing you, divine feminine, and there's that fear because the future is so unsure. So I kind of feel the karmic really is, you know, gossiping among the social circle as she kind of, you know, wants to have some fun and really trash the masculine, is kind of what I'm feeling. And, you know, this running, chasing dynamic, the masculine's really played into the lower ego when it comes to this fear of intimacy. And I do feel he's leaving that codependent relationship behind, because the chemistry that the twins share is insane. It's undeniable. You know, this is an equal give and take relationship. The love is eternal. The love is equal. And it's kind of time for the masculine to embrace self-love, self-care, you know, to make those healthy choices in order to return to a state of inner happiness. And I feel there's a lot of reminiscing when it comes to the past memories that the twins share. I know that was one of the happiest times of my life, was when we were dating, and the time we would spend together, it just flowed so effortlessly. And I kind of feel there's a lot of reminiscing when it comes to the energies that we shared together. So I feel we really need to keep that positive mindset. Don't play into those negative thought processing, because that's what you're going to manifest. So stay in the positive mindset, stay in the energy of gratitude, because I do feel the masculine's coming in, chasing you very quickly. He's not showing his hands of cards to anybody. He is being very strategic when it comes to taking a chance and taking a risk, because he's dealing with a lot of fleeting triggers within that karmic relationship. He's learning this lesson when it comes to all of this resentment, all of this inner turmoil, in order to let go and come forward and really love you, Divine Feminine. So this relationship addiction with the karmic relationship is very toxic, and I feel the masculine deeply needs that healing from this heartbreak. So I think the masculine is interested in having that talk with you, Divine Feminine, you know, coming forward and having that open-hearted conversation. And I think get ready for that long-awaited message to arrive, Divine Feminine. You know, maybe that text, that call, that email, or showing up at your house, because I think it's kind of time to embrace some more lighthearted energy. And I think a lot is coming to the light when it comes to healing these connections. So let's get a couple last twin flame messages. I do feel the masculine is looking at you and feeling very inspired. He knows he wasn't ready for you. Let's face it, neither of us were ready for this connection when it came in. It was so intense. I think the masculine fears not being able to find those words to say to you. So we will get a couple last messages. What would the Divine Masculine like the Divine Feminine to know when it comes to these energies today? He can't ignore the signs he's receiving. And, you know, the grass sure as hell was not greener on the other side. And I think the masculine definitely got spooked by the intensity of this connection. The signs are in his face nonstop. I do feel he's been watching you online. A lot of these masculines block us, and then they create those false social media accounts to kind of watch us in the background. If you've got a YouTube channel or a business page, I'm pretty sure the masculine's been keeping tabs on you to see what you've been up to. I do feel the masculine is feeling deeply damaged, like he doesn't know how he's going to come forward. He doesn't know how to do this, even though his heart is telling him to just do it. The fear, I feel, is overriding what's coming up on the heart. That fear of rejection, that fear of abandonment. And I also feel, you know, a lot of the Divine Feminines, our energy is so intense. It really does allure the masculine, but it does also frighten them at the same time. So, you know, you definitely are inspiring the masculine. So keep doing whatever it is you're doing, Divine Feminine. Right now, I do feel they feel safer in the silence, because they're not sure that they can meet your expectations. But I do think they're more affected than you realize, because you definitely feel like home to them. This is a feeling like none other. So I think get ready for the masculine to come forward with that emotional vulnerability very, very soon. I think they're dealing with a lot of negative judgments within the social circle right now. They're definitely dealing with a lot of obstacles in their physical reality when it comes to this excess pity party. And I feel he knows it's time to dedicate his life to this spiritual journey, to, you know, devotion to the Divine Feminine when it comes to refocusing and stepping forward in his mission. So I think get ready for some action to be taken after the masculine, you know, goes through this abandonment fear. And that's kind of what I got for an update today, guys. I hope this helped. I hope this resonated. If you would like to book a twin flame reading with me, please feel free to check out that description box below. And I look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you.